Welcome along then to the North Sea coast and to the Zandvoort circuit, 25 miles away from Amsterdam, for today's Dutch Grand Prix. It's a race the great Jim Clark won on 4 occasions, leading for an astonishing total of 370 laps. Zandvoort circuit then, 14 corners, 10 to the right and 4 to the left, with plenty of steep camber and elevation changes to keep our drivers on their toes throughout the 2.6 mile lap. Off the back of a fantastic qualifying session, it's time to see how our starting grid looks like for today's race. An immense lap from Carlos Sainz yesterday puts him in pole position. And starting next to them is George Russell. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have red, Norris, Sergio Perez, and Fernando Alonso. Bottas, Gasly, Hamilton, and Charles Leclerc. Stroll, Magnussen, Sebastian Vettel, and Ocon. They've taken a grid penalty. Mick Schumacher, Verstappen, Nicholas Latifi, and Daniel Ricciardo. Tsunoda and Guan Yu Zhou. And now it's time to head down to the track. A warm welcome to Natalie Pinkham, who is beside me in the commentary box today. Why don't we kick off by discussing Max Verstappen? Looks as if they have a tough race in store today, as grid penalties from changing power unit components has forced them further down the grid.
Everyone has to deal with penalties or reliability issues from time to time throughout their career. You just have to suck up the pain and get on with the job at hand. Today isn't about performing a miracle to put the car back where it should be. It's about effective damage limitation.
Flag. Okay, the virtual safety car's been deployed. Okay, clear. You've lost some time to the car behind. Try to stay with them. They might make a mistake and we could still regain the position. Okay, focus. We need to stay on form. And that's the end of the race. We'll see you in Parc Fermé.
What a fantastic Grand Prix that was, and an excellent win for McLaren. So, Natalie, what do you think helped them deliver this result?
I think it was clear what the main contributing factor out of the track was: speed. It sounds like an awfully reductive statement, but fast cars win races, and we saw that today with our winner.
As the winners make their way up to the podium, one can only imagine the celebrations that will take place at McLaren tonight. Congratulations to everyone on the team, securing the win and proving they're a force to be reckoned with out on the track. And now let's take a look at the drivers' standings. Not the result our points leader wanted, but it certainly makes things interesting going forward. So then, Natalie Pinkham, who would you rank as your driver of the day?
Max Verstappen seemed to just effortlessly weave through the other drivers today without a care in the world. He was definitely my driver of choice.
Let's move on to the constructors. Been an absolutely wild weekend of Formula One action. I can't wait to see what's next. Prix once again here at the beloved and iconic Autodromo Nazionale di Monza. With the lowest downforce and drag of any circuit in the season, expect to see drivers making the most of the slipstream effect here today. We're 12 miles northeast of Milan for today's Grand Prix at a Monza circuit where we could expect top speeds of around 215 miles per hour. 11 corners on this 3.6 mile track, with 7 of them coming in the form of chicanes, and with a good slipstream and DRS open, there should be plenty of opportunity for some passing here today. It's time to see how our drivers are stacking up after yesterday's exciting qualifying session. Max Verstappen put in a fantastic lap yesterday and he'll start from pole position. Sergio Perez lines up alongside. Considering the rest of the grid we have Sainz, Norris, George Russell and Leclerc, Fernando Alonso, Ocon, Gasly and Yuki Tsunoda, Vettel, Stroll, Valtteri Bottas and Hamilton. They'll be starting further back after an earlier grid penalty. Mick Schumacher, red. Daniel Ricciardo and Guan Yu Zhou. Latifi, they've taken a grid penalty. And Kevin Magnussen fills the last spot on the grid. Now, it's almost time for lights out, so let's go down to the track. Alongside me once again for coverage of today's race, it's none other than the great Anthony Davidson. Let's talk briefly about Lando Norris. That was a great win in the last race. Can they keep that momentum going this weekend?
There are never any guarantees in this business, but certainly the performance last time out would have boosted their confidence coming into this one.
Okay, focus. We need to stay on form. Okay, clear. Our gap to the car in front is... All right, race over. Take care of the car on the way in.
There it is then, victory in the Italian Grand Prix, a historic race and an achievement they can be immensely proud of. Anthony, tell me, what was it that helped them achieve this success?
Well, I honestly feel it was down to the driver and car today. I mean, we can talk driver skill all day, but if you don't have a solid team to back that, you're never going to get anywhere. When you hit that sweet spot of having both an excellent driver and an incredible car, that's when you see results like those we witnessed today.
Here come today's winners. The team at Red Bull have done a phenomenal job recently. It's clear to see that they've put in the work and they should be proud of the victory they've secured here. Despite the best efforts of our championship leader, that lead has taken a bit of a knock today. So let's review the drivers' standings. Some amazing talent out there on track today, but Anthony, who would you pick as your driver of the day?
I have to give it to Red. Look at where they finished compared to where they started. It's not easy to cut through the field like that in Formula One, so it was a great effort.
Let's move on to the constructors. Red Bull pull further ahead in the standings. Been an absolutely wild weekend of Formula One action. I can't wait to see what's next.